Hi, Fred DiDomenico. We're doing the 7 video series. Man, we're on step 3. Which number? 1, 2, 3 of the 7 steps to mastering change. Okay, what's step 1? Come on, say it. Understand their world. Step 2, you have to create leverage, create a base, have them take responsibility. Step 3, you have to interrupt a limiting pattern. You got to interrupt their pattern. That's what we're going over today. Step 3, how to interrupt their pattern. What's that mean? That means people come in, they're wired neurologically, emotionally, right? And they're acting in this way and they almost do it subconsciously, right? Your subconscious mind runs 95% of your life. And that's what we're dealing with. They're trying to create lifetime patience and they have these subconscious patterns. Notice my body language. And so they're acting in this way. Boom, man, you got to interrupt that pattern. It's like they're going on these railroad tracks and they're just operating in the subconscious pattern. It's like, man, you got to derail them off that thought process or switch the rails so they take a new direction. You have to interrupt that thought pattern. Now, a pattern interruption typically is a very confrontive statement. It can be an analogy. It can be cracking a joke in a serious moment. It could be strong language. Even using strong language is a pattern interruption. Really, it's anything that creates that kind of what, where it disrupts their mind, and it may even take them into a state of confusion. Confusion is a mental state where at least they're transitioning. At least you knocked them off the track and they don't know where to go, but then you reframe step 4, right? So the thing is with limiting patterns, interrupting that limiting pattern, they're going to be very confrontive statements. So your conviction has to be really high. Well, how do you get your conviction that high? Well, one way is to realize it's not about you, right? It's about that person in their life, and they're living a subluxated life, and their mindset is bringing them into this life and these conditions that they don't really want. They just don't see it because they don't understand. They don't know this is something new, and they're operating the way they always have. They're coming in on an emotional pattern. So you got to see when they're stuck on a thought, boom, it's like you got to sideswipe them or T-bone them, knock them off track and get them on a new track. So what would be an example? Well, there's examples all the way through day 1, day 2, financial workshop, daily visit, re-exam. So we'll just pull a couple off the top of my head. All right. So if you're the husband and spouse that financially goes, what's my insurance cover? Well, first of all, you got to define where is that coming from, Mr. Jones? Is that to determine how you're going to do the program or if you're going to do the program? Actually, I would say if and how. If you're going to do the program or how you're going to do the program. Well, it depends how much it costs, so it's how, okay? Well, I just have a question. First of all, let's get a common reality. You're not going to say that, but that's always first. Do you believe you have a condition or your wife has a condition that's breaking her health down? Because really, I know is like speaking to their subconscious mind. I know your primary concern is your wife's health. Isn't that really why you're here? You just sat through the workshop. We're here doing this because your primary concern is her health. Is that right? So they say yeah. So now what we're doing is we're transitioning their thought, getting ready for the pattern interruption, right? That's taking responsibility, step 2. And then you say, there's no insurance company that exists that's going to get your wife healthy. Here's a pattern interruption question. You say, your insurance will cover disease. It'll cover cancer. It won't cover a weakened immune system. See, what's that mean? If your wife's spine is subluxated and her immune system's weak, it's not going to cover that. But it will cover when you get a disease and you have cancer. Oh, it'll cover all the chemo in the world. But it's not going to cover a weak immune system. So your insurance company is going to cover a heart attack if you survive. But it's not going to cover a weakened structure in your neck that's making your heart susceptible. You know what I mean? And so, see, those are like pattern interruption questions. And here's another one. See all those people in here? Do you know that none of their insurance companies, and some don't have insurance, none of those cover. Okay? Because there isn't one. So every one of those people had to invest in their health because their health or the health of their spouse was the most important thing in their life. I know that's important here, right? Right. Is there a difference between them and you? Right? And that's when you stop talking. Now, is that a very confrontive statement? Heck yeah. There's some people looking at this and say, well, I can't say that. First of all, we need to look at your conviction. Second of all, when they know you care you can confront them. So you can even preface that. If you know you're coming up with a pattern interruption question, you may preface it with, Mr. Jones, do you think I really care about you and your wife's health? And if they say yes, then I'd ask the question, see all these people out here? Every one of them had to invest, and you know the majority of them don't even have as much insurance coverage as you do. So what's the difference between them and you? Right? Or is there? You know what I mean? I know you care about your wife's health, so what would be another one? Let's go back to time and money. Well, I just don't have time. I can't make the appointments. Okay, step one, common reality, right? When handling objections, make sure you're on the same page. Do you believe you have a condition that's making your body weak? Do you believe it's going to get worse every day? See, I'm setting them up for the pattern interruption. So if it's getting worse every day and you're not taking time to get healthy, because time's going to pass, right? That means that time is going to your body creating disease. How do you want to spend that time? Right? There's a pattern. Boom. Pattern interruption question. Takes responsibility. A bit of a reframe. Okay, what else would be another one? Well, I get heartburn or I'm on blood pressure medication, but I have to take that. See, that's a victim, right? They feel powerless. So you would say, so really what you do is you're taking that because your heart doesn't work right on its own. What happens if you don't take it? So you're beginning that pattern interruption. Well, what would your blood pressure be? Well, it'd be, 170 over 110. Man, that's heart attack. I know, that's why I take it. So you feel like you don't have a choice. And they'd say, no. I go, but if there was something that could help you change that, if there was something that could give you a healthy heart, so you didn't have the fear of a heart attack, because really, so what's the limit to break the limiting pattern? So your whole life is dependent on that bottle. Do you like your life being dependent on that bottle? Well, I don't have a choice. No, just tell me how you feel, really. let's get real. See, this is like, let's get real. Do you like your life being dependent on that bottle and the healthier family? No, I actually hate it. But I would say, but you don't feel like you have a choice, right? There's very specific causes for that, and many of those are reversible. So a reframe, now the next step, reframe would be, so do you want to be a prisoner of that bottle, or do you want to be free to live your life as you want? See, now I'm introducing a new state. But what's a pattern interruption? Man, do you feel like you're a prisoner to that bottle? Does that bottle have your life captive? So your house, your family, everything is dependent on this bottle. Man, I sure hope, what's a shocking statement? I sure hope when you go on vacation, you don't forget that bottle. Man, I hope you don't lose that bottle. Well, I would just go to a drugstore. Oh, that'd be the first thing you have to do. So really your life is dependent on that bottle. See, those are pattern interruption, take responsibility questions. Now, are those very confrontive? Heck yeah, they are. But see, here's the thing. When you give up the need to be accepted, right? To be liked and accepted. When you give up the need to being liked and accepted, you gain the gift of being loved and respected. Because a person will love you for confronting them and changing their mind. But see, they may not like the process, but it's not about you. Okay? But if they know you care, you can confront them. So some people are going to watch this video and say, well, I don't like step 3, man. It's strong. Yeah, but they're in a neurological rut, man. What if a person says, well, you can't help my blood pressure, doc, crack my neck? Well, and we know, how dumb is that? It's your friggin' neck problem and why you got heart problems. It's why you're a prisoner of your bottle. Doc just cracked my back. I just go to my cardiologist. Hello? If you don't create a pattern interruption, how are you going to change their life? So just like it's not about you to your patients, this isn't about me. You may not like what I'm saying, but if you don't interrupt the pattern, you can't change their life. That's why 7 steps, how many? To creating lasting change, right? To creating lasting change, you got to change the meaning, but what do you got to do? You got to knock them off that neurological rut. There's 8 million objections, 8 million ways to create pattern interruptions. So number one, you got to understand their world. You have to align with them. Number two, they have to take responsibility. Once they do, then you ask a question that shifts them off that track. So there's 8 million. I'm going to go over all of these in the boot camp. If you have any questions or anything specific, you can call me. We can give you a pattern interrupting question. Stay on these video series. Please share them, because as a chiropractor, creating as many lifetime patients as possible, then you really are a self-empowerment coach that has a healthcare application. So way to go, self-empowerment coaches. Next video's coming. Watch these, study them, watch them over and over again, and please share them. We're going to change the profession in our lifetime. Thanks.